Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 96 on my countdown to retirement. So it's a Saturday, which means it's weekly financial review time. So I did my weekly financial review this morning, and we ended up down for the week 0.39%. So we're up for the year 12.43% across our portfolio. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it might be, given how the rest of the market performed. And to that point, the stock market as a whole ended the week down. The Dow Jones Industrial Average finished down 0.2% at 46,247. The S&P 500 was down 0.3% to 6644. The Nasdaq was down 0.7% to 22,484, and the Russell 2000 was down 0.6% to 2,434. 5 of the 11 S&P 500 sectors were up for the week. That included utilities up 2.8%, industrials up 0.1%, information technology up 0.3%, energy was the big winner up 4.7%, and then real estate was up 0.9%. WTI crude for the week ended up at $65.72 a barrel. Gold was also up 2.8% to $3,809 a troy ounce. And then natural gas was up 0.5% to $3.20.6. International markets ended the week mixed. The winners for the week were Japan and London, both up 0.7%. Japan was ended the week at 45,355, and London ended the week at 92.85, respectively. And then India was the loser for the week, down 2.7% to 80,426. After doing my numbers, I made breakfast, which consisted of sausage and eggs this morning, and then I ran out to Publix to pick up some BOGO items that they had on sale. Then I spoke with my mom and my sister for a little bit over an hour. I called my mom to check in on her because I tried to reach her last night, but I woke her up. So then I just let her go right back to sleep. And then she was at my sister's actually having coffee. So we just chatted on speakerphone so I could talk to both of them at the same time. And then I watched a portion of the Ryder Cup, and the Europeans were playing exceptional golf. And then for lunch, I ended up having the remainder of my chicken soup that I made the other day. And then I watched the movie Marine 4 on Amazon Prime while I was eating lunch. And then my mom texted me a notice that she got from Invesco on the triple Qs, which was telling her to call Soderly and Company Fund Solutions at 1-800-887-2299 urgently. So she also got no less than a half a dozen calls from Invesco, from a number that showed up on her phone from Invesco throughout the previous week. And I've been telling her to ignore the things because, first of all, I thought it was a scam at first because I was like, why the heck would Invesco be calling her? Like, she does own the Qs, but they're through her brokerage, and her brokerage would reach out to her if they wanted to send her a proxy statement or needed to talk to her for some reason. So I just couldn't understand why she was getting contacted. So I told her to ignore it. Anyway, I went and had her send me a picture of the document, which she did. And then I looked up the number associated with the document. The number is a valid number, and it does go back to, however they pronounce it, Soderly and Company, which handles Invesco's proxy statements. And presumably, they want her to sign a proxy statement for the upcoming special meeting of shareholders on October 24th to vote on the amendment to change the triple Qs from a unit investment trust to an open-ended fund, claiming that it will reduce fees by 10%. And I don't personally know what, under the Securities and Exchange rules, what the difference is between something being listed as a unit investment trust and an open-end fund. Since I myself own the Qs, I'm going to go back and research that and figure it out. But anyway, I told my mom to just disregard it. She doesn't need to do the proxy statement, you know, just like any other investments that come into her. She doesn't vote on any of the things that she owns. She owns them. Obviously, as an individual investor, it's immaterial in the scheme of the total amount of shares that are outstanding. So anyway, I just told her to ignore them. Uh, and then um, my wife went outside to vacuum her car. So first I moved my shop vac out there for her, along with an extension cord. And I moved my truck to the end of the driveway so she could easily get around her car. So she vacuumed the interior of her car. Then she wiped down the interior of her car. Then she washed the wheels, and she was going to wash the car today, but it was really hot out. And by the time she got done those things, she was just wiped out. So she'll probably do the washing of the actual exterior tomorrow. So once she was done with that, then I vacuumed out the interior of my truck, and then I went back to watching the Ryder Cup through the finale of day 2. And then for dinner, I ended up making a porterhouse, which I split with my wife, and then she also had mashed potatoes to go with hers. I just had the steak, and she gets obviously the filet portion. I keep the New York strip section. And then after dinner, I watched 4 specific videos on YouTube, and the links of these will be in the description box down below. But I watched a video by Joe Kuhn called "What is my best purchase in retirement?" plus 4 more questions answered from your comments. I watched from Jeff Schmidt at Holy Schmidt. CPA explains 6 habits keeping you broke. And then Heritage Wealth Planning, I watched the number 1 reason why you need to retire ASAP. And then at Diamond Nest Egg, I watched the best no penalty CDs versus T-bills. What's better in 2025? And then their weekly bond update. Then when I got done doing that, I got a notice that my AT&T internet bill was due, and so I usually pay it on the 28th, but it came in today, so I just went online, paid my AT&T fiber bill, because I do have high-speed internet, at least until I stop working, in which case then I'm going to probably downgrade it, because there's no reason to pay what I currently pay if I'm not working remotely and need the higher speeds. Anyway, that's my update for today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below, or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening, and until tomorrow, take care.